Hello and welcome to my channel. Sit back and enjoy this story. In the quiet village of Kanyenda, nestled in the heart of Africa, the mornings were greeted by the chirping of birds and the distant hum of life waking to the rhythm of nature. Despite the village's beauty, Kanyenda was a place of deep-seated fear. The villagers believed that the dense forest bordering their home was cursed, filled with spirits that preyed on the weak. Every family had its tale of someone who ventured into the forest and never returned. It was not merely folklore but a belief so deeply ingrained that the forest was named Kisasi, meaning, the place of vengeance. The villagers lived their lives in the shadow of this fear, avoiding the forest at all costs. In the center of the village lived a young man named Tund. Tund was no ordinary young man. He was known for his kindness and courage, but more than anything, Tund was known for his unwavering faith in God. Orphaned at a young age, Tund was raised by the village elder, Baba Luko, who was also the pastor of the local church. Baba Luko often spoke of the power of faith, quoting verses from the Bible to inspire the villagers to live boldly and fearlessly. But even Baba Luko, wise and faithful as he was, never dared to challenge the lore of Kisasi. Tund, however, was different. "The Lord has not given us a spirit of fear," he often quoted, drawing strength from 2 Timothy 1 verse 7. "If God is for us, who can be against us?" His words were a challenge to the silent agreement the villagers had made with their fears. While many admired Tund's courage, few shared his conviction. One fateful day, Tund's closest friend, Abina, fell gravely ill. The village herbalist tried every remedy he knew, but nothing worked. Baba Luko prayed fervently over her, yet her condition worsened. As the days passed, the villagers began to murmur about a rare herb, moyo, believed to grow only in the heart of Kisasi. It was said to have miraculous healing properties, but no one had dared to venture into the forest to confirm the tale. The fear of Kisasi loomed large. Even Abina's parents, despite their desperation, could not muster the courage to enter the forest. The thought of facing the spirits, or worse, vanishing like so many others, was too terrifying. Tund, however, could not stand idly by. He prayed throughout the night, asking God for guidance. As dawn broke, he felt a deep conviction in his heart. "The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life, of whom shall I be afraid?" he whispered to himself, quoting Psalm 27 verse 1. Tund knew what he had to do. The morning of his journey, the entire village gathered to see him off. Many tried to dissuade him, warning him of the dangers. Baba Luko placed his hands on Tund's shoulders, his face a mix of pride and concern. "You are a brave young man, Tund. Remember, God is with you. Do not let fear take hold of your heart." With nothing but his faith, a small satchel of food, and a machete, Tund stepped into the dark, foreboding forest. The forest was eerily silent. The air was thick, and the dense canopy above blocked most of the sunlight. Every crack of a branch and rustle of leaves seemed amplified, testing Tund's resolve. But each time fear threatened to creep in, he prayed. "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me." Psalm 23 verse 4. As he ventured deeper, Tund encountered challenges that would have paralyzed a weaker man. Thorny vines tore at his skin, strange shadows moved just beyond his line of sight, and an overwhelming sense of dread tried to engulf him. Yet, he pressed on, singing hymns and reciting scriptures to keep his spirit strong. On the third day, as he neared the heart of the forest, Tund came face to face with what the villagers feared most. A dark figure, shrouded in mist, appeared before him. Its presence was suffocating, its voice a low growl that seemed to echo within his very soul. "Why have you come here, mortal?" the figure demanded. "Do you not know this is a place of judgment? Turn back, or face the wrath of Kisasi." Tund's knees trembled, but he stood firm. "I come in the name of the Lord," the maker of heaven and earth. You have no power over me, for I am a child of God." The figure laughed, a chilling sound that seemed to make the trees shudder. "Your faith is a flimsy shield. Many have come before you, and all have fallen. You will be no different." But Tund was undeterred. Clutching his Bible, he began to recite aloud, "For the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh but have divine power to destroy strongholds. I destroy arguments and every lofty opinion raised against the knowledge of God and take every thought captive to obey Christ." 2 Corinthians 10 verses 4-5. As he spoke, the figure began to waver. The darkness around it seemed to recede, and its form became less distinct. Tund pressed on, declaring God's promises and proclaiming victory over fear. Finally, with a deafening roar, the figure dissipated into nothingness. Exhausted but triumphant, Tund reached the heart of Kisasi. There, bathed in a beam of sunlight that broke through the canopy, he found the herb moyo. Its leaves glistened as if covered in dew, and its scent was sweet and refreshing. He carefully gathered as much as he could and began his journey back. The return journey was no less challenging, but Tund's encounter with the Spirit had fortified his faith. He knew that God was with him, and nothing could stand against the power of the Almighty. When Tund emerged from the forest, the villagers could hardly believe their eyes. He was battered and bruised but alive, with the precious herb in hand. Baba Luko and the villagers gathered around him, listening in awe as he recounted his journey and the battle with the spirit of fear. The herb was prepared and administered to Abina, who began to recover almost immediately. Her healing was seen as a miracle, but even more miraculous was the transformation in the hearts of the villagers. Tund's courage and faith ignited a spark in Kanyenda. The villagers began to challenge their fears, turning to God for strength and guidance. The once feared forest of Kisasi was no longer a place of dread but a testament to the power of faith and the victory of light over darkness. Tund's journey taught the villagers a profound lesson: fear is a weapon of the enemy, but it cannot stand against the truth of God's word. In the words of Isaiah 41 verse 10, "Fear not, for I am with you, be not dismayed, for I am your God, I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Kanyenda was never the same. Tund's story became a legend, a reminder to all who heard it that with God, even the greatest fears can be overcome. Hope you enjoyed my story. Subscribe and share to your friends.